Alright, so here's what we're starting with. Obviously, I had started cutting before recording, so here's what happened over here. This guy, we had a big windstorm, and this guy just came right out of the ground. All the roots and everything. And then leaned up against the compressor and pushed the fence over a bit. But it was lucky that the compressor is like on an angle, so the tree like slid down the side of it instead of just smushing it, so dented a bit, but I'm sure it still works fine. Alright, well, and then so I got this old truck I bought a long time ago. I was using it for storage. So I'm going to take the cab off of this guy and completely take the interior out and everything, maybe put the cab on this guy. And I don't know, I'm sure this is going to be a multiple part video, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've switched the trucks around. The truck on the right is the one that I'm going to take the cab off, and then I moved the blue truck over and put a tarp over it just to keep the interior components dry until I get to it. So what we're going to do next is, I don't know if you guys can see it. This guy right there, that's the main plug. And here's the back side of it right there. And so we're gonna try to get that out. I don't know exactly how that's held in. I loosened the bolt already on the outside. So let's give it a shot and try to take this thing out of here. Alright, so it looks like we're going to disconnect the cab from this mount right here. So this bar right here is going to stay. And so I think we need to disconnect this vacuum line in here. And this one, the tank stays with the cab. All this white stuff right here is part of the cab. The lights stay with the cab. They've already been disconnected. And yeah, everything looks good. It's all disconnected right now. So we still need to go underneath the hood, and here's the main wiring harness that we're disconnecting next to the heater. So this has got a bolt that you loosen right there, and then there's no tab or anything. You can just you know, wiggle it back and forth. And then this guy right here actually had a tab right here on the side that you have to push in. And so that came right out. So this is looking pretty good outside here. Got a couple of things here. We want to disconnect that vacuum line. Oh yeah, and then it's got a lift gate on the back, so we need to disconnect these guys. And then we need to disconnect the shifter cable. I'm wondering if we should do that inside. But obviously there's some rust stuff going on. We need to clean this up. We're not going to use this again because this thing looks pretty hammered. We'll use the one off the other truck. But we'll clean all this stuff up down here. Oh yeah, that's right. We need to disconnect this knuckle right here too for the steering. And here's that vacuum hose we need to disconnect. So we've got these two cables down here. We need to disconnect those, figure out where those go to. And the accelerator cable we already disconnected inside. So why don't we just start, this looks like something easy to start with. We'll just disconnect this little knuckle right here. Alright, well, forgot to turn on the camera for you guys. So I just lifted this cab off. So here's what we got here. And, you know, the tree fell on this side and there doesn't seem to be any damage in there at all. Like, I don't see any broken leaf springs or anything like that. Here's what the other side looks like. So here's a little machine that I use to take this guy off with, and I put a strap through the cab. There's a strap, you can see the strap still sitting there. So now we'll move on to the next one. So yeah, oh, just lost the video. Oh no, it's still recording. Okay, so now we're going to take this guy off. Alright, so the only thing that's really holding it on now is there's this little like a safety latch back here. Not this guy, but there's another one right here. So I'm going to pick it up just a little and then I'm going to release that latch. the angle for you guys. So yeah, it's sitting in the right spot. Here, let's go around this side. You can see there's that little stud in the hole right there. You can kind of see that where that nut goes. So it's on. It's pretty exciting. So here's the assembly. It seemed way easier just to take it out of the truck like this, and so that's what I did, and I think it'll be easier to go back in. So we'll let you see. Oh yeah, and I did some other work without you. I ground down, this was kind of rusty in here, so I took a wire brush and a machine and I wire brushed the whole thing, and then I put oil-based Rust-Oleum on it. And this side was really good. I scraped off all the sound dampening stuff so I could get down to the metal. So okay, now you guys can feel my pain as I try to get this in here with no assistance. This should be interesting. So the way I took it out is I opened that door and just basically dragged the whole thing out. So this is going to be the opposite of that. It's not pretty, and I'm sure it's not how they recommend to do it, but it's how I do it. So I just I had these lying around. I know this is the most, it's kind of silly, all this for a few bolts, but I labeled everything just because it's easier just to look for the names of everything instead of like sorting through 10 million bolts and hoping you got the right one. Because sometimes you do that, you get one that you're like, yeah, this is it, but it's like the wrong length. You use the long one in a short hole or something like that, and it's not capable of handling it, or I don't know, there could be a lot of different stuff going on. So we're just gonna put this in temporarily because I know I'm gonna have to move this to get some of the other components in here, but this will just hold it up and let me stabilize it for a little bit. So yeah. just want to show you guys this main connector really quick. So here's the main connector, and this just like, once you get this set up, then this just gently screw this in and just plugs right in. But this guy is completely separate, so you have to make sure you get this by hand and that's snug and snapped in there, otherwise you're gonna obviously have some issues. Okay, so the white one is snapped in, so I'm gonna get this other guy snapped in properly. I think what I'm gonna do, there's this little plastic guy that snaps into place, so I'm gonna get him snapped back into place, and maybe that'll help me line everything back up. Alright, so you can see this looks good. This guy just is over lip snapped into place. Same with this guy right here. So now I just need to get this guy into place. So I need to I think it's lined up properly on the outside, but I don't want to cross thread it. Obviously this is a super important piece. So right now I'm not necessarily going in a straight line. So this bag says this is 2 screws for the left side of the heater control box. So it's really easy, it's right there. I'm just gonna put this in, then that's one less bag that's around it. And just makes looking for things a lot easier. So I've been trying to take the bags out of here as I go. So this just goes right here. So there's like there's some little plastic pieces that stick out and line it up in a hole right there, so you know you're in the right spot. So then these are just for the left side, and then the right ones do the radio, I think, too. So I think I'm just gonna get this in here.